Humans seek and get enjoyment out of helping others with their problems. It gives people a sense of purpose and importance to be able to figure out a solution to something someone else seems to be struggling with in the moment. Everyone with a healthy conscience and level of empathy enjoys this feeling, some more than others. This very drive is what makes people produce products and services to help others make their life easier or more enjoyable. In personal relationships, helping others can bring someone closer to you and other benefits that come with trust and reliability. Just like anything else though, it can be abused and become detrimental to one's life if they allow their need to help others come before their own well-being. It can get to the point where that person will ignore their own problems or red flags, but still find solitude in helping others figure out and tackle theirs. Even though their own problems are stacking up or going unresolved, the satisfaction of thinking they're helping others sedates their fears and anxiety from their problems like a drug, and leaves them wanting to help others more to gain that feeling again. Even though this doesn't sound harmful, after a while they realize that a lot of these people that they were trying to help with their problems aren't actually seeking their help or to fix issues, and don't care about anyone else's well-being the same as the problem solver cares for them. They were only looking for someone to dump all their shit on to make themselves feel better, since there was someone genuinely interested in them and their livelihood, most likely more than they are. They had no intentions on following the problem solver's advice or try to really get to the root causes and adjust their life accordingly to get past it. These people are running from their problems as well, but they use others in a more detrimental way than the person who looks to help others, and that's what leads to the problem solver being taken advantage of. Even though it's obviously one-sided, many people allow their efforts and time to be wasted by these people instead of spending that time and resources on themselves fixing the issues they have. This is mainly because the time and effort it would take isn't as enticing as the quick fix of whining and telling someone else what they need to do, acting like you're helping by enabling them and ignoring yourself. It can also isolate you once people realize they can't use you if you start to focus on yourself more than them. The reason why I bring this particular mentality up is because this mentality seems to be synonymous with weak or feminine men. Men are embodying this mentality of complaining and seeking solitude and talking about their problems without attacking the issue head on and figuring out a solution to implement themselves. They'll figure out what's going wrong and blow it out of proportion to justify not taking initiative because it's quote-unquote too hard, or result to complaining about things that have easy solutions instead of being proactive and trying to take initiative to fix it and move forward using that moment as a learning experience. This is unfortunate because men are natural problem solvers and innovators, so we're inclined to look for better or more efficient ways of getting things done. Unfortunately, as men are raised by women more and without that masculine mentality, you start to see men losing the sense of taking charge and having confidence in their abilities to at the very least go for what they believe they can do. Men choose to continue with the status quo of being disposable and a slave to their fears and women's insecurities in their masculinity because that's the path of least resistance to steady pussy and decent money, let's be real. Men are waiting for someone else to change their situation or tell them what to do to fix it because even though these men are feminine, they still have the male tendency to problem solve. The major difference is figuring out the problem is enough for these weak-minded men who only look to be used. Acting on it isn't the motive. They want to figure out the problem and a quick solution for immediate relief and hope that somebody else picks up the tab when problems start to occur because they ignored the root causes, like a rotten tooth spreading decay to its neighbors as the person doesn't take care of the tooth that caused the damage in the first place. As I explained it, I hope you see the similarities between this mindset and how women operate throughout their life. Women's main priority is figuring out how she can use the men in her life to make it easier for herself and hopefully her offspring. And this mentality doesn't require much effort or courage to accomplish as a woman, especially if you're attractive. They become lackluster in achieving high levels of success on their own merit or skills because it's not necessary to attract a man of quality. And now that women are basically pushed to accomplish these things themselves because girl power, they hate their lives and men. Their only plausible way to change this is to complain to men until they do the work necessary to change it, and now this mentality isn't only common in the female psyche anymore. As more women raise men, their mentalities become more feminine and they embody characteristics that allow them to become victims of their circumstances and look for others willing to indulge them in their sorrows. This mentality is also common amongst people in the extreme left, as they've painfully made obvious in the last year and going into 2017. This mentality is where the emotional baggage comes in, and it needs to be avoided at every turn. Women and men try to use people who problem solve as a crutch for themselves to lean on, but the lean is indefinite throughout the entire relationship. These people never only use your support when they stumble and need to catch their balance. They continuously weigh themselves down on you, and every now and again they'll let up a little by doing something nice for you, and they go right back to leaning on you as a crutch and using what they did as justification to themselves and you to continue doing it. They come to you with all their problems for you to console them and leave you with all that shit on your mind to stress over or allow to consume your thoughts. I can't stress enough that this isn't common only amongst women anymore. Men also have this same mentality toward other men, and men are already competitive and want to dominate, so they resort to mental manipulation and use your need to resolve problems against you as a way to dominate you, especially if they cannot dominate you physically. Even narcissistic fathers do it to their sons when they see their son has the potential to surpass them in every way, so they suppress their knowledge of their true abilities and the threat they pose to their father's way of living cowardly. I say all this because as men mature, they should become better at recognizing and solving problems in their life on their own without needing confirmation or motivation from others every time it gets hard. And as that happens, the need to complain to everybody about your problems or shortcomings with no consistent actions to change them lessens over time, and you're less susceptible to people manipulating you for their own gain. I'm not saying it's not good to talk about your problems, because it is, but recognize when you're talking about them to actually come to a resolution or to just complain and feel sorry for yourself. As you recognize this, you'll see others who don't know this cling to you because you enabled it. But the moment you stop allowing them to complain about the life they made for themselves and demand action, watch how the relationship dwindles. This is specifically important to MGTOW men because going your own way can be a lonely path at times, and being able to express your feelings or confide in certain people can be enticing in terms of gaining your trust and admiration, but it can also be a tactic for them to get close and use you, even if it's for something as simple as dumping their problems on you and fucking your day up to gain satisfaction in their own life. People like this love to see others suffer and fail because it makes them feel better about their own shitty life. It's imperative to your mental health to recognize people who are victims of their circumstances and people who take control and create the circumstances they want without sacrificing those they care about. And those are the people you confide in and trust to help you progress as you help them. This is Rev Outlier, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch, man. Please like, comment, and share to spread the word and the movement. Thank you.